Well, I want to start out by, let me just say, my name is Scott Stringer, New York City Comptroller, and I want to thank you for joining us this morning for the release of our Red Tape Commission report. A year ago, my office convened a group of 31 advocates, industry leaders, and community members. We wanted to hear directly from small business owners. We held a public hearing in each borough and conducted an online survey about the process of navigating city bureaucracy. This report is a culmination of that work. A comprehensive bottom-up review of the rules and regulations small business owners confront every day, and 60 recommendations on how we can cut all of this red tape. I'll get to our findings in a moment, but I want to begin by thanking our co-chairs, Michael Lambert and Jessica Lappin. Can we give them a round of applause? I want to thank them for all the time and energy they have spent to ensure the success of the commission. When I asked them to co-chair the commission, I said, this will be easy, it'll take a month, don't worry about it. And a year later, they are still here with us. Now, I just want you to know that they have some very important jobs, and they really took time to help this report. As many of you know, Michael runs the Bed-Stuy Gateway Business Improvement District, and he understands many of these problems firsthand. Michael, you were instrumental, and I can't thank you enough. And Jessica Lappin, of course, is president of the Alliance for Downtown New York, which manages the city's largest business improvement district. Her insights and expertise, not to mention her service on the New York City Council, were invaluable to this process. I also want to thank let's give Jessica a round of applause as well. But I also want to thank the other 29 commission members for their hard work and commitment to the cause. They were insightful, they were smart, and they were very passionate about making sure that we could help our small businesses. I want everyone to give them a round of applause, and thank you all for being here. Here's why this is important. New York City is home to more than 200,000 small businesses, and they are the backbone, the heart and soul of our economy. They provide jobs for almost 1 million people and bring life to our neighborhoods throughout our city. Each of our business owners deserve a fair chance to make it in New York City. But today they are being choked by government bureaucracy instead of being empowered to grow our economy. To open a business here, New York City has to navigate more than 6,000 rules, 250 license permits, and 15 city agencies. And as a result, nearly half of our small businesses close up shop in less than 5 years. Now, we want to take a sledgehammer to this bureaucracy. You don't have to take it from the commission members. You got to listen to what the business owners are talking about. We also did an online survey, and we interviewed 300 businesses online. And this is what they told us. Nearly 1/3 of respondents said they waited 6 months or longer for approvals just to open their doors. Incredibly, 4 in 10 said they had to pay an expediter to help them deal with the city. That's an indictment of the system, when taxpayers have to pay extra just to get their applications and license processed. 47% of our respondents said city officials did not give them adequate information about how to avoid potential violations. And when we asked owners to name their greatest frustration with the city, 23% said the agencies were slow to respond. Worst of all, 48%, nearly half of respondents, said they felt they were unfairly treated by city agencies. Now, these statistics were brought to life at hearings across our city. Some of the participants are here with me today. We have Frank here. He's a business owner from the Bronx. He had to wait 9 months for a city agency to pay attention to his problem. Liliana from Queens helps other entrepreneurs get businesses off the ground, but many of them don't speak English, so they can't access the material on the websites, and that is crucial for being able to open up their doors. At our Brooklyn hearing, we met Meredith, who's dealing with ongoing repercussions of drawn-out city construction. These are the voices of the small business community in New York City, and they are frustrated. Our government should be helping small businesses, not getting in their way. We've got an obligation to provide solutions, especially when the government is the source of so much of our problems. Now, last week, our office released a report showing that the city revenue from small business fines is down 20%. And I really want to commend Mayor de Blasio for taking a new approach to reduce the burden of these fines. And Small Business Services, that agency has helped with their continuing the Small Business Acceleration Program. Now, we need to build on that progress because too many business owners are still facing endless red tape. And that's why our 60 recommendations, if implemented, would go a long way to changing the way we do business in this city. One, we want to abolish expediters at the Department of Buildings because business owners shouldn't have to pay an extra dime to access their government. Instead, we should employ professional small business advocates so that owners and entrepreneurs have an immediate point of contact at every relevant city agency. Now, at the Department of Health, we need to stop charging business owners $400 for a compliance consultation. This actually happens. You call the Department of Health, you have a question about issues related to that department, and you have to pay $400 just to get an interview or when they pick up the phone. That has got to end. We should be providing free and accessible resources. The city needs to ensure those tools are available in multiple languages so every New Yorker has a fair shot to make it. We have, and we are blessed with immigrant entrepreneurs who bring their business savvy from all over the world to the city, and yet they can't access information in their language. So we need to do a better job fitting language services to the needs of our small businesses. The other thing I want to just mention is technology. This came up at our hearing. If a business owner can track the status of a small package, that's what happens with UPS. UPS delivers packages. You don't have your package, you call UPS and say, where's my package? They tell you it's in California and it's moving east. Relax, it'll be there in 3 days. If you call up a city agency and say, where's my license? Where's my permit? They say it's up to God, right? And we need to put more technology into our city agencies because business owners need certainty. That's what they told us at the hearing. If the application or license is ready in 6 months, that means you can make a different kind of deal with your landlord. So let's get technology into this permitting process. And also, it's time for government to just do a better job being a partner with our businesses. That's right. City government should partner with our emerging businesses because when we have that partnership, the business stays open and our government is able to expand the local economy. And that is why the Red Tape Commission is very, very important. Now, I want to mention to all of you that these are some of our 60 recommendations, but this goes much deeper. We want to use this report so that we can go to advocates and business owners and cooperate with our city agencies. I don't want to say that our 60 ideas are the only ideas out there. We want to praise the city administration. I really want to say last week that when we looked at fees and fines, we heard from our small business owners that those fees were onerous on a tight budget. They are coming down. So we view this report as a compliment to what city government is doing. This is not an attack on city government. This is a cooperative venture as far as we're concerned and our commission members. We are not against something. We are for doing more of the same to make things better. And that is why we present this report with great hope that we can make a real difference. So I want to start out today so that you have an opportunity to hear from people who were directly involved in this effort. And I want to call Michael up for his remarks, and then we're going to hear from a number of speakers. First Michael and then Jessica. So Michael, why don't you say something, and thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Comptroller. So as Mr. Stringer said, my name is Michael Lambert. Scott said, I'm Michael Lambert. I'm the Executive Director of the Bed-Stuy Gateway Business Improvement District in Central Brooklyn. And when I actually received the call to ask if I would be willing to co-chair the Red Tape Commission, it was a great honor for me. Actually, working in Bed-Stuy has given me the opportunity to see a lot of the struggles that small business owners face firsthand. I've actually seen, in some cases, some of the negative interactions they've had with members of city agency, which always kind of like, made me want to say, what can I do to try and help correct some of those deficiencies and some of those difficulties that they face, because we know small business is the lifeblood of our city. So I just want to actually say thank you to Scott for giving me this opportunity. His incredible team who's actually worked with us. Thank you to my co-chair, Jessica Lappin, and every single commission member. We'd be up here all day if I mentioned everyone by name. But I think that everyone has basically put a lot into this report. a lot of time and a lot of thoughts going into it, and we hope that these actual recommendations will be the start of a conversation that will actually make for long-lasting improvements for our small business community in New York City. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael. And now we'll hear from Jessica Lappin.
Well, I just want to say what we hear in Lower Manhattan, where we have small businesses and Fortune 500 companies, it's the same thing we heard when we went on the road. And there were commission members who went to each of the hearings in all 5 boroughs and really spent a lot of time on this. And I think that's important and very much reflected in the product. But what we kept hearing time and time again are the themes that are in the report. And one of which, a big theme is that first year is really the hardest. It's the year where you're trying to lease space, you're trying to hire staff, you're getting your product ready to go, you're figuring out insurance, these things that you never understood that you'd have to tackle just because you had an idea and a dream. And when you finally get there and you're ready to open your doors, there's really nothing worse than not being able to, because the city hasn't given you the permits that you need and can't tell you when you're going to get those permits or how you're going to get those permits. And time is money. And every day you're paying the rent, every day you're paying staff, but not opening that business is a really hard day. And a lot of our small businesses don't recover from that. And we have laid out some good suggestions on how we can fix that and really help those businesses succeed, employ the people that they want, and invigorate our neighborhoods. And it was something that we heard universally, and I think there's some really great ideas that we look forward to moving forward on and being in partnership with the administration on moving forward. And I just have to thank my staff too, Taina Prado and Josh Nakowitz, who spent a lot of time on this as well and came to all the hearings, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. I also want to put a plug in and really thank the Comptroller's office. There are too many people involved in this to name, but this report is the culmination of a year-long effort, and I just want to thank everybody. Please take a half a day tomorrow, okay? which means 2 hours, okay? So next up, before they catch on, is Meredith Phillips Almeida, the ED of the Myrtle Avenue bid, who is really terrific in this. Please come up. Thank you. Good to see you again.
Sorry. Good morning. My name is Meredith Phillips Almeida. I'm the Executive Director of the Myrtle Avenue Brooklyn Partnership, which is a local development corporation and business improvement district serving Myrtle Avenue and Fort Greene and Clinton Hill, Brooklyn. The addition of a 25,000 square foot pedestrian plaza and much needed streetscape improvements on Myrtle Avenue promise long-term benefits for our community. But many of the small businesses in the bid have been negatively impacted during the construction phase. For example, while there is a 72-hour courtesy notice for water main shutoffs, in practice, businesses sometimes get 24 hours or maybe less. And imagine how difficult it is to make staffing or purchasing plans with just 24 hours to adjust. And then imagine you might have 3, 4, 5 consecutive days of water main turnoffs in multiple weeks, consecutive weeks. And imagine you're a business that relies on water, a salon or a restaurant. How can you be expected to absorb sort of this impact? We want the project to move forward, and I think for the most part, all the businesses understand that the end result will be very positive for our community. But none of us want to intentionally hurt small businesses in the process. And all over the city, too many small businesses suffer when construction projects tear up the streets in front of their storefronts. It doesn't have to be this way. I truly believe that. With some intentional pre-planning and better coordination between city agencies and small business owners or small business advocates like business improvement districts, local businesses could better prepare for the impacts of these kinds of projects, and we can mitigate the impacts together. The Red Tape Commission report outlines important reforms that would help the city work more closely with local businesses to prevent the impacts wherever and whenever possible. This is a critical issue all over the city, not just on Myrtle Avenue, and I appreciate the Commission giving it the attention it deserves and believing that even when we are doing good, we can do even better. So thank you to everyone involved.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And from the Bronx, Belmont District Management Association, please welcome Frank Franz.
I'm Frank Franz. I'm a lifelong member of the Belmont community, born and raised in the Bronx, better known as the Little Italy section of the Bronx, Arthur Avenue, 187th Street. Always I got to get the plug in for the neighborhood. I'm a a founding member of the Business Improvement District up there. I'm on the planning board, involved in numerous organizations dedicated to the improvement of the economy and quality of life of that community. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Stringer and his entire staff for attacking a problem that's actually always been a problem in New York, red tape, but in more recent years has become epidemic and seriously hinders the ability of small businesses to open and to be successful. I know this because ours is a community of 600 small businesses. I've been asked to give a brief personal example of many long-winded examples I could give you of red tape I've encountered personally with the city of New York. One example most recently is we endeavored to put a number of fund together from a number of businessmen of $100,000 to rent a space and open up a center for the arts and culture in the community. Something that could be used commercially for the visitors that come to our community, but also for education programs and servicing the people of our community, which is in the poorest urban congressional district in the United States. The first thing we had to do is get a waiver from the Mayor's Office on Physical Disabilities for get a waiver because the building could not be made handicapped accessible. And I was told by our architect that we were a textbook example for getting this. Well, after having our architect apply for this, some 9 to 10 months later, after numerous emails, phone calls, me calling up other commissioners for help, and actually going down to the office and almost getting arrested, we got somebody to look to find that the email had been there in their email for 10 months already. And after looking at it over the phone, it literally took 2 minutes to approve this. 2 minutes work in 10 months, for which we're paying $5,500 a month rent for 10 months, money that's just frittered away, wasting time. And the time value of money is something that every businessman knows, but is sadly lacking on the part of the city of New York, along with many other things. So I really thank the Comptroller for looking into this. I've only briefly looked at the report, and I'm already impressed with the ideas in there. I hope some of them could be implemented. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the founder of the Woodside Business Center from Queens, Liliana Carrillo.
Buenos días a todos. Voy a hablar en un idioma que se convierte en algo diferente de lo que ustedes están escuchando, pero es la prueba fehaciente de lo que es esta ciudad. Es multicultural y los negocios, eso mismo pasa en los negocios. Estoy aquí gracias a una reunión que hicieron en Queens, en un restaurante local, hizo la oficina de Comptroller. Y eso me motivó mucho al ver la información y tomé acción. Y esas acciones son las que me han llevado a estar aquí. Y en representación de una comunidad de empresarios que sufren lo mismo en todos los idiomas, en todos los lenguajes, sufren de lo mismo. Necesitamos más tiempo y necesitamos más tecnología, menos burocracia, más apoyo a una comunidad de empresarios que trabaja y lucha día a día por generar empleo. Mi idea de estar aquí representándolos en mi idioma es para decirles a ustedes que esto que han hecho es muy importante, que ustedes estén aquí es muy importante, pero que más importante es lo que van a hacer con las 60 recomendaciones que se han hecho. Para hacer de Nueva York no solo la ciudad más linda para vivir, sino la mejor y la más linda para hacer negocios. Gracias.
Thank you very much. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you very muchas gracias. Thank you. And now, let me say, before we take questions, once again to all the commission members, on behalf of Jessica and Michael, I just want to say thank you very much for your individual contributions. Having you on this panel lent prestige, and I think really got a lot of the comments without you we never would have gotten from the business owners. So again, I just want to say thank you so much to all of you. And now we'll take a few questions from the press, and then we'll get everyone going on their day. Any questions?